I never saw the betrayal coming because I was too busy believing I was never someone who naturally belonged anywhere. I didn't walk into rooms expecting attention. I didn't speak unless I felt my words were truly necessary. And most of the time, I felt like I was standing just outside of life, close enough to observe it, but never fully inside it. People weren't cruel to me. They didn't insult me or push me away. They simply didn't notice me. After a while, I stopped trying to be seen. I learned how to stay quiet, how to listen more than I spoke, how to make myself smaller so I wouldn't be in the way. There was safety in that. If you don't expect connection, you don't feel the pain of losing it. If you don't trust, you don't have to recover from disappointment. If you don't get close, nothing can really hurt you. That was my logic. And for a long time, it worked. Then he appeared. Not suddenly, not dramatically. He was just someone who kept showing up. We crossed paths through routine, through repeated moments that slowly became familiar, through conversations that didn't feel forced or rehearsed. He wasn't loud. He didn't compete for attention. He didn't try to prove anything, and somehow that made him feel different. We didn't become close right away. There was no clear beginning, no defining moment I could point to later. Our connection grew quietly, through shared silence that didn't feel awkward, through moments where neither of us felt pressure to impress the other. Around him, I didn't feel evaluated. I didn't have to be confident. I didn't have to pretend I knew where my life was going. I didn't have to explain myself or justify my uncertainty. I could simply exist. Slowly, he became the person I talked to most, the one I shared thoughts with before anyone else, the one who understood what my silence actually meant. I started opening doors I had kept closed for years. I talked about the doubt, about feeling replaceable, about the quiet exhaustion of always wondering if I mattered. I talked about loneliness, not the kind where you're physically alone, but the kind where you're surrounded by people who don't really know you. I talked about the fear of being forgotten, of trying quietly and still ending up invisible. He listened. He didn't interrupt. He didn't rush to give advice. He didn't dismiss what I felt or tried to minimize it. He just listened. And that changed something in me. For the first time, I felt understood without being questioned, seen without being exposed, close to someone without feeling like I had to earn it. That's when the dangerous thought appeared. I started believing this was safe, that I had finally found one person who wouldn't misuse my trust, one person who wouldn't repeat my words to feel powerful, one person who wouldn't disappear when things became inconvenient. I thought, even if the world misunderstands me, at least he won't. That belief slowly became a foundation. I trusted him, not loudly, not blindly, but deeply. I trusted him with insecurity, with context, with parts of myself I rarely allowed anyone to see. Without realizing it, I had started anchoring my sense of safety to another person. If something went wrong, I told myself it would be okay because at least he knew the truth. If I felt lost, I reminded myself I wasn't alone because at least one person saw me clearly. I didn't need a crowd. I didn't need approval. I had one person, and I believed that was enough. Looking back now, I understand how fragile that belief was. But at the time, it felt real. And that's what made what came next so hard to notice. Because betrayal doesn't begin with cruelty. It begins with trust that goes unquestioned. Sometimes the person who hurts you the most is the one who was closest when you were quiet,